Hello there! It's another brew day video. I'm smashing them out at the moment. And this time we have got a fucking amazing Mosaic single hop double IPA. Oh yeah! Still running off. Woo. Okay, so first time brewing with this modified brew kettle. So as you can see, I've now got a valve going into the brew kettle itself. And the idea is that I would be able to do a whirlpool. So I've got a tube on the inside that squirts into the wort. What I didn't think about was when the wort comes up above that level, that the wort was all going to piss out of the hole. So I'm going to need to add some sort of release valve on here, which would be better. So I've got a tap so I can turn it on and off. Because at the moment what I've had to do is I've had to rig up all of the recirculation stuff to the pump, ready for when I do need to recirculate, so that nothing leaks out of the side of the bloody boil kettle. Now, obviously, because I'm using a 2.4 kilowatt element in here, I'm hoping it's enough. So it seems to be making a difference. I can see the protein starting to form on the top of the wort. What I am worried about, though, of course, which I've never had to experience with an electric element before, is that as soon as it starts to boil, if I get a boil over and I need to turn the temperature down really quickly, what that's going to be like. So this is a bit of an arse clenching time, and I'm waiting for it to just all go wrong. So we'll see what happens anyway. But so far I've spilled a little bit of wort that's dribbled out of the side of the whirlpool valve. So as you can see, everything's rigged up to try and avoid that. Mistake number one, and I will learn from that next time. Have a tap there so I can turn things on and off. Anyway, waiting now just for this to come up to boil temperature, and then I'll start the clock before I add the first hop additions at 15 minutes. Alright, so boil's kicked in. Not too bad. This is a 2.4 kilowatt, standard 24 quid I think it was for the element. It's not bad boil. It's pretty vigorous in the area that it's is boiling. Took about 45 minutes to come up to boil temperature, which is about the same, to be honest, as if I was to do it in the on the stove. This looks like it's getting even more vigorous actually than if I was to have the stove. So this is looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with this. Anyway, 45 more minutes before I chuck in the first hops. Alright, this is now more vigorous than if I'd actually, look at that. That is a vigorous boil. 2.4 kilowatt element. I'm actually really impressed with that. 24 quid. I'm actually worried about it spilling over the side of the boil kettle, which is doing a tiny little bit, so just want to be careful I don't end up making the element, but the electrical connection wet, so I'm going to have to keep a good eye on this until the levels have gone down a little bit. But that is one vigorous boil. badass. Alright, 15 minutes left of the boil. Still kicking ass and vigorous. Anyway, so we got 30 grams of Mosaic. I'm going to gently chuck that in. And just chuck the hop addition straight into the wort, because I want to have a little play and see how the whirlpool does. So another 15 minutes, we'll do flame out and chuck in the steep whirlpool hops. Alright, so we have the wort chiller in position. My hoses are in a different arrangement now, and also because I've got the element on there, I don't want the wort chiller to be sitting directly on the element, so I've kind of clamped it to the side of the boil kettle in this rather pretty fashion. So I'm going to now that we're reached the hour mark, or an hour and 5 minutes actually, I'm now going to turn off the boil kettle. I'm going to stick in the thermometer like this, and we're going to turn on the chiller and watch the temperature go down. Right, so we're down to just over 80 degrees. I've got the whirlpool turned on and it's working nicely, as you can see. So I'm going to add my hop whirlpool hop additions, and I'm going to chuck them in the middle, I guess, inside the, maybe I'll stick them in here for now, so at least they get moved around. Right, okay, cool. So that's nicely whirlpool in, yeah, looking good. Okay, cool. So I'm going to leave this in there for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to put the chiller back on. So I'm just going to put the lid on while this is doing this. Okay, so I'm going to have to rethink my whirlpool. I'm going to try, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put an outlet on the side so that the whirlpool goes out and then in, out and then in. The problem that I've had, if for some reason, is because we're sucking out of here via the pump on full volume as well. The bazooka tube that I've had in there has been sucking in the hops from the bottom, and this is what my bazooka tube looks like. It is clogged with hops, really compacted into the bazooka tube. So what's happened is it's got so clogged, the flow coming out of the outlet valve has ceased, so nothing was going in through the whirlpool in the end. So yeah, I'm going to leave this to chill for a bit. I've had to get my hand in the cold water. I gave my hands a good scrub with antibacterial soap beforehand, sprayed them with Sar sand to make sure that everything was okay. Got in there, pulled the bazooka tube out. The problem that I've got there, of course, is I've got no whirlpool, and I've got no nothing to screen the wort coming out. Okay, fall down. Nothing to screen the wort as it's coming out into the fermenter to stop any hops going into the fermenter. So I'm going to have to get a sieve, which I'll sterilise beforehand, and I'll hold that over the stream so that the wort coming out will catch any hops before it goes into the actual fermentation bucket. But yeah, not exactly how I planned the things go today. It's okay. Hopefully I haven't infected my beer by shoving my hand in the wort. Yeah, so I think I need to modify the whole whirlpool system so that I have another tap coming out of the side here, and then I can use that to pump the beer. Whether I put a bazooka over it, I'm not sure. Don't know what you guys do, maybe let me know. But I definitely need to have a bazooka on here to make sure that I don't get any hops in the wort. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, so maybe I'll look that up online. But yeah, hopefully we're down to 30 degrees now, so another 4 or 5 degrees and we're back pinching temperature. Alright, so here we are, 1.070. So this recipe is exactly the same as the Azaka smash that I did, same grains, minus the headaches I had with the whirlpool, and we've come out at exactly the same gravity. Beer Smith was estimating to come out at 1.078. We've come out at 1.070 exactly, so I'm happy with that. It's the same as the previous recipe. It's lower than what Beersmith is saying, but at least I've got consistency between the 2 times that I've done this recipe, so happy with that. Okay, filling the fermenter up. Only got a little bit left in here now. Not much. As you can see, I've decided against using the sieve. I got in there, cleaned the bazooka screen, as you can see just at the bottom there, washed my hands, got back in there, put it back together. You know, at least I've got that to filter out the hops, but you learn by your mistakes next time. I probably won't turn the valve on so much, so I don't get such full suction from inside the boil kettle, similar way you would do a recirculation with the mash tun. Probably going to put an extra valve on the side there as well, again with the screen, I think, to minimise any hoppage getting into the pump, to blocking things up that way. So yeah, nearly done here. What we got so far, 20 litres, looking good. Going to be a 21 litres batch. So yeah, once this is done, I'm going to chuck in the yeast. So get ready to pitch yeast. Now, I've decided with this one to give this a go with a Lalbrew New England yeast. I've used this before, had good results. I got a 25 gram bag, which is like a double pitch, I guess, because USO5 is an 11.5 gram bag, so this is like twice as much. So I should get a good, nice, quick fermentation with this. So I'm just going to sprinkle this in. Just like that. Probably over pitching with that much, to be honest. So just going to stick the lid on, stick it in the fermenter. This is the next morning, and this smells like this New England yeast. The fruity smell coming from this fermentation fridge is unbelievable. Really, really nice. Really fruity. I'm loving it. Juicy. Just smells juicy. Really nice. Can't wait for this one to be ready. Cool. So this is end of day 1. So we've got another 13 days of fermentation to go. And then after 7 days, I'm going to chuck in a massive dry hop. See you in 7 days. Alright, so there we are. Full brew day video. Kept it nice and short for you. Not too much going on. Classic brew day. If you looked at my Azaka single hop IPA video, which I did originally call a smash video, and in the video I called it smash, and people in the last video were very, very quick to point out that's not a smash. You've got 4 different types of grains in there. Yeah, you're right, actually. I totally didn't think about that, to be honest. Yeah, 4 different grains, and I kept it the same with this video here. Exactly the same grain bill, except I increased the amount of oats that I had in this particular brew. I think it was 750 grams of hops. 750 grams of oats that I put into this one, and it's a totally different yeast that I use this time. So no more Cross My Loof pale ale yeast. That's all gone though. Never fucking using that again, because the off flavour I got from the yeast last time I just didn't like. This time though, look at how dank. Look at that. Woo! That's my neighbour screaming. The kids playing in the garden. They're okay, don't worry. I'm sure they're fine. Anyway, look how dank that is. Look at it. It is proper dank. I am proud of that. That is so nice. The colour's good. The dankness is good. And look at that head. It is just beautiful. White, foamy head that is just hanging around. You can see the lacing on the glass. It's just amazing. I'm so chuffed with the way this beer looks. But it's not all about how a beer looks, is it? It's about how it tastes. That's the most important thing. Yeah? If it tastes as shit, it's no good, you know? So, let's have a little nosy. It's 100% Mosaic, so there's 300 grams of Mosaic went in on the dry hop schedule of this. 150 at 7 days, 150 at 3 days, so shit ton of Mosaic. But, oh my god, it smells amazing. So fruity, so peachy, so like just beautiful, lovely. Yeah, peach and mango. Oh, I absolutely love it. It's an amazing hop. Really, really pleased. It's such a lovely smell. Oh, love it. So let's see what it tastes like. If it tastes as good as it smells, we're on to a winner. So so fruity. It's amazing. Lovely, lovely clean taste. The New England ale yeast that I used in this has just really brought out the fruity esters. It's just left this lovely fruity flavour behind. Very, 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 very slight. I wouldn't say the tart. There's maybe a little slight tartness to it, which really accentuates the fruity flavours. Maybe that's from the hops. I'm not sure. Sorry, it's windy outside, and I'm just watching a bloody plastic bag blow around in my garden. It's distracting me a little bit. I am pleased as punch with this. I kegged this at the weekend, just gone. It's now Thursday. I kegged it on Friday last week. It's been in the keg not quite a week. I kegged it on Friday because the Azaka one ran out, and I knew I had guests coming around on the Saturday. I kegged it, force carbed it, left it till the next day at 40 psi, and then brought it down. And then I poured a beer when the guests turned up. Not really expecting to get much out of this, thinking it's going to be flat, it's not going to taste that nice. Poured it and was just like, oh my god, this is an amazing beer. Like straight off, 2 weeks off of the fermenter, into the keg, poured it. Absolutely amazing beer. And the really nice thing that I got from this was the guests came round, poured them each a beer. They were really, really impressed with it. But the really nice thing was just like, as soon as that beer was finished, they were all like, can I have another one? Can I have another one? And they were just pouring themselves beer. We caned quite a lot of beer that night. It was quite a fun night, but I was really, really chuffed at how well this beer went down so soon after coming off of the out of the fermenter, straight away. And you know what beers are like. They only get better as they age a little bit. You don't want to leave this to hang around too much because the hop aroma and flavour will disappear. But this is going to be a lovely, lovely drink over the next couple of weeks. I can't imagine it lasting long. And this is definitely one that I'm going to brew again. Now I'm going to do the recipe again this weekend coming. The same recipe, but with Amarillo hops this time. And I'm going to increase the oat content a little bit more, up to 1 kilogram of hops, just to see what comes out. Try and see if I can find that nice balance, because I reckon 500 grams just wasn't enough. There was, the yeast I used in the Azaka one was different, but the clarity started to drop as it sat in the keg for a long time. This here has been in there a week, and their clarity has not dropped that at all. It's still hazy. I used the New England ale yeast, which is known for being a hazy a yeast that promotes haziness. So maybe I found that nice balance of the amount of hops. But let's give it 1 kilo this time and then see how we go. But that video is not going to be recorded until this Sunday, which is 3 days away. So, but for the meantime, I'm going to sit back, enjoy this beautiful, what I've called a Mosaic single hop double IPA, because it's coming at just under 8%. I'm going to sit in my garden now. I'm going to enjoy this, and then I'm going to edit the video and probably upload this. But anyway, look, happy homebrew, guys. Give this recipe a go, because I'm so chuffed. Just try using Mosaic hops in a IPA and see what you think, because this is it's just brought out the flavour and the aroma of this hop, and I love this hop now much more than I previously did with Citra. It's a lovely, lovely hop. Anyway, take care, guys. Until next time, have a good one.